of all, not all drag shows are the same. They're just not. There's something called nuance. There's something called context. And I actually do believe in parents' choice and think that parents should be entitled to determine what's best for their children. And for the most part, that works. Yes, there's going to be outliers. There's going to be people that do things that most of us might find inappropriate. And when that happens, there might have to be accountability for those different infractions when that does happen. But that's not how we should be creating policy based on the outliers. That's just not how this works. But I don't necessarily have just a blanket problem with kids seeing drag. Some drag is no different than theater. Why is Hairspray watching a musical of John Travolta dressed in drag, or when I saw it, it was Divine?
No, original. I think a better example is The Birdcage.
Okay, that's fine too. That's my point. Yeah. And a club that existed like that, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem taking a kid to if it was appropriate hours. I generally don't think that kids go to nightclubs and bars in general. I think that in general, those are adult activities. But does that mean that all drag shows we should ban children from saying no? Unless it's porn, and we have rules for that. Like, I don't understand why people want to create more and more rules. The goal is more and more freedom and more justice, not more and more rules.
Well, that's I think on one hand, they want to protect kids. I have no doubt that there is.
From what?
From debauchery.
From what?
From debauchery.
Okay. Well, you know what kids need? They need protection from being houseless. They need protection from not having health care. They need protection from being in debt for eternity, for dare to get an education. That's what they need protection from. They don't need protection from drag shows. They just don't.
I agree that and listen, there are conservatives in our chat who think that the drag show is an issue, but in the grand scheme of things, it isn't it's probably not even in the top 50, top 100. There are so many pressing issues that we deal with on a daily basis that people are not looking at. And they're using this particular issue, which really has no standing whatsoever in terms of how this affects our daily lives. And again, it's not to say that parents shouldn't be able to make their own choices for their children. If ones feel that there is an issue with kids seeing drag shows, I understand that, and I don't disagree. But at the same time, you cannot tell me whether it's Metaopoly, Potato Junkie, any of our conservative friends who are here, that you can justify going into a drag show, even if you disagree with it, and start killing people. Like, this is...
No, I don't care. Look, Jason, I'm not saying they're for children. I'm just saying I don't support the idea of making rules telling other people what they can and cannot do. First of all, places that sell alcohol have ages on them anyway. So I don't understand why we're even having this discussion. And no, I don't think of drag shows as a general type of pride event. It's necessarily family friendly.
Nevin Cusack's statement is exactly correct. That's the answer. That is the answer. You want to talk about, what is actually...
Exactly. Well, that's the point. But here's the thing. The problem in this country, anything that you see as a problem is not caused by the trans community. I assure you. The most marginalized, vulnerable people are never going to be the cause of your woes. That's not how this works.
And don't forget that the people, and generally speaking, and I ain't naming any names, but do not forget that generally speaking, those particular people that are within that community that get a loud microphone and complain to the high heavens about the things that matter to them within the LGBTQ community, very often, those people are no different than any other grifter in politics. They are not out there complaining about a living wage. They're not out there complaining about universal health care. They're not out there complaining about the environment. They're complaining about a niche issue that has no impact on capitalism run amok in any way whatsoever. And that's what people get so upset about. And rightfully so. But it's a hypocrisy across all political spectrums. It's not just one. This just happens to be one that really makes people very uncomfortable.
I'm telling you, it's this, the fascination that people have about genitalia is just bizarre to me. It's like, why not be fascinated with like livers or kidneys or spleens? Like, why are you so fascinated with people's genitalia? And why are people so concerned with this? No, I don't think children should be in inappropriate sexual innuendo type places. I don't think that. I don't think they should be at nightclubs or bars. I don't think that children should be handed drugs illegally.
And you're bringing up the point, which is basically in agreement with what the conservatives are saying, but then they want to take it essentially to the next level, which is, do you think you have a right to control how parents raise their kids? That's really the question.
Well, they do sometimes. Like, for example, they want to do things like banning books and saying that's because we support a parent's right to choose how to educate their children. But yet they feel the need to get between that parent, their child, and the pediatrician or the doctor regarding whether or not a child should be entitled to take hormone blockers. So it's like either you support a parent's choice or you don't. And to me, I do. I think that I'm a very live and let live person. And anybody who thinks that people are making those decisions very willy-nilly are ludicrous. That's not happening. So it's just, I find the whole thing very frustrating. You guys are making something out of nothing. Is there some sort of like rash of people that are like sneaking kids into drag shows? And like, is there something that I don't know about? Like, is this a real problem? Like, I don't understand why this is an issue for people. Is this happening? Are there field trips to drag shows? Is the county school board like? I don't understand. What are people worried about?
And again, this brings up what I think is one of the key points of this. And we did a video clip on this recently. I'm not even sure if it's dropped yet, or maybe it's dropping. I think it's dropping tomorrow. Is about Matt Walsh. You know, Matt Walsh went around making a documentary film called "What Is a Woman," and this obviously is a direct shot at the trans community. And he was on Joe Rogan recently and was asked specifically how many individuals under the age of 18 are taking puberty blockers. And his answer was millions.
Millions. They're signing up. Doctors are prescribing them left and right.
And in reality, it's about 5,000 to 6,000 in the whole country. Out of 330 million people.
Right. That's and so let's all get fixated on that.
It's a crisis.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.